Hi everyone. So I recently did a video about how to know if you're with a narcissist in relationship. And so today we're going to talk about what to do if you are with a narcissist. How do you deal with a narcissist in your life? What are different tactics? Before we go on, I want to remind you that you can subscribe if you like this video or any other videos that have to do with life coaching and health coaching by clicking on the bell below. And if you want to be notified every time there's a new video, go ahead and click on the bell as well. So the number one thing to do to deal with a narcissist is to learn to trust yourself. Whether you have chosen a narcissist to be in a relationship, if that's a friend or a partner, or you're in a family relationship with a narcissist, so it's somebody that you haven't chosen but life is given to you. Really, the greatest gift that you can get from a narcissist is taking the narcissistic abuse and using it to learn that from now on, it's really important for you to trust yourself and not define yourself by what somebody else says to you. So what do I mean by trust yourself? If you feel hurt, then you're hurt. Nobody can tell you that that hurt doesn't exist, or that you're crazy, or that it's in your mind, or that you're jealous. Nobody should be belittling that hurt or telling you that it shouldn't exist. You feel hurt. You're allowed to feel hurt. Trust that hurt, and take whatever you're feeling as a guide point or a guideline that something is going on with you. So really trusting yourself is the first tip to dealing with a narcissist. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always express that to a narcissist, but what you can know is that you can trust it and that it's real. The second thing on that same note is making yourself important. Oftentimes, if we're with a narcissist, we can start becoming borderline ourselves, or even a codependent, meaning very needy and dependent. And so what you want to try and do is really learn to make yourself very important, to know that you matter, to make yourself independent, and to really realize that, at least 50%, if not more, of your time should be spent on you, focusing on yourself, focusing on what makes you happy, focusing on your needs, focusing on your boundaries. You're important. And oftentimes, the longer we spend around a narcissist, our tendency is to make ourselves, become subservient to the narcissist. We get worn down. We're constantly trying to make them happy so there's not another fight, or belittle ourselves so that maybe at some point they'll be nice to us or be happy with us. And the truth is, you can't really control a narcissist's behavior. You can't make them happy, and you can't make them like you. And so whether this is, your mother, or this is a sister, or this is your husband, it's just not possible to make them like you. So you make yourself important, you make yourself happy, and don't spend as much time worrying about or fretting over the narcissist liking you or making them happy. So in this same light, one of the ways to deal with a narcissist, and this is going to be the hardest part of dealing with a narcissist, is setting boundaries. One of the ways to say boundaries is to simply say no to doing something you don't want to do, and really realizing when they're trying to manipulate you. So a boundary might be, a narcissist will very often have no qualm about not only telling you to do things for you that you might not like or want to do, having very little empathy for the requests they have of you. So for instance, a narcissist could be audacious enough to say to you, hey, let's say your husband's a narcissist, I would really like to try dating other people while we're married, and actually make you feel like you're too jealous, or like there's something wrong with you if you put a boundary around, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not okay with that. Or a narcissist might tell you, you know what, I really feel like the cleaning of the house is solely your responsibility. I have no need to participate in it because that's your duty. And the more you might try and put a boundary down, the more they might belittle you. Narcissists are generally very smart or manipulative, so they'll find many ways to make you question yourself. So just realizing that setting boundary downs and saying no, not participating, not doing things for them is one of the main ways not to participate in the abuse, but it's also going to be one of the main ways that you're going to trigger them. So being prepared for a harsh reaction and not backing down, being constant. This doesn't necessarily mean, because sometimes a narcissist can trigger hysteria in us because of their ability to be so unempathic or listen to what you're saying. To almost like a little child that's throwing a tantrum, just be consistent and say, I'm not willing to do that. And, if they're starting to gaslight you or do things that are inappropriate, not participate. Keep your no, be steady. At one point or another, the narcissist will stop if they realize that they can't manipulate you. They may move on to other people or other things, but they won't, at one point they'll stop. Now, they could, in the beginning, they won't believe your no, so they could become very extreme. They might come up with very difficult antics in order to make you give them what they want or allow them to do what they want in the relationship. So hold on to your seats and, connect with the strength within you. One thing that's really helpful with a narcissist is to really connect your sense of knowing how to be positive and have a sense of humor. Because dealing with a narcissist is very difficult, is very taxing on the emotions. So really learning how to be strong and positive and humorous and not take on to yourself, that whatever they're doing is because there's something wrong with you. It is something going on with them, and it is something that you're just almost like riding a roller coaster, just kind of patiently and in a good spirit trying to ride it through. Remember that you are not crazy. Narcissists can get to the point where they will try and tell you that you're crazy, and so it's really important to nip that in the butt right away and say, no, I'm not. What I'm asking for is normal, and kind of validate yourself verbally, and not participate in their ability to try and make you feel crazy. Narcissists are very charming. So, look out for not falling for their charm. You don't have to call them out on it. But let's say a narcissist, right before they want something for you, they may start bombarding you with gifts or compliments or buy you expensive things. And that usually means that they want something for you. So you can enjoy the gifts and the compliments, but be wary to not fall for the fact that there's something coming next, that there's something that they want from you, or that there might be an agenda behind it. So, don't fall for their charm. Now, if this is a narcissist that you care for and that you have to be in relationship with, whether it's a spouse that you decide to stay with because you have children and because you don't want to leave the relationship for whatever reason, if it's a family member, or if you just simply really love and care for this person despite their narcissism, something that really feeds their ego is to give them compliments. The narcissist loves to be told how beautiful they are, how good looking they are, what a good job they've done, how successful they are, how smart they are. Feed their ego if this is something you care about and it's something that you are willing to do, and you don't feel upset or like you're being too inauthentic. They need a lot of praise because they have a very weak ego. Be realistic. Narcissists, if you look in what psychologists use to define narcissism, it's a personality disorder in the diagnostic criteria, which means that it's something that's already part of their personality. You may be able to make small changes, but the truth is you probably won't change your narcissistic wife, husband, father, they might be narcissists till they're 100 years old. And that's a very harsh reality to come to terms with. So be honest with yourself and realistic about the fact that this person may always be up to these same shenanigans for the rest of your relationship. And ask yourself honestly if this is something that you really want to deal with. Again, if it's a family member or somebody that you cannot cut off a relationship with, or that you have to be in a relationship with, then maybe if it's gotten to a point where it's too much, start spacing your relationship more. Speak to them less, see them less, have less financial ties to them. If it's somebody that you come to terms with the fact that you're just miserable, maybe it's time to leave the relationship. Or if it's somebody that, you know, it's a spouse and you've decided you're staying with them to the end of your life and living in the same house no matter what they do, then slowly incorporating some of the tactics that I've just given you. Just remember that with a narcissist, it's really important to be gentle with them. Not only do they need compliments, but they need gentleness, despite the fact that they will, without flinching, attack you in public or humiliate you. If you were to embarrass them in public, even unintentionally, you will feel their wrath. They will be very spiteful about it because their image is everything to them. So be careful about how you portray them in public. Don't embarrass them. And hopefully, you know, with all of this, all of these tips that I've given you, you have a better understanding of how to deal with a narcissist, to have a kind of more peaceful relationship with them. I just want to remind you in the closing notes that, you know, your well-being, your happiness, and your peace of mind is so important. And if you've decided to stick it out with a narcissist and invest the time and energy to work through things with them, still make sure that you are not giving up on yourself and not, you know, foregoing your own well-being in the name of trying to make it work. If this video has been helpful, you know, and you want other videos with similar life coaching topics, go ahead and click on the subscription button. And if you want to be notified every time there's a new video, go ahead and click on the bell below as well. And also, I'd love to hear if there are any strategies that you find have been successful for you in dealing with the narcissist in your life. Please do share those in the comments, as we can all learn from each other and all help each other get through the difficult relationships with the narcissist in our own individual lives. I wish you many blessings. Bye-bye.